Right, was not planning on making a video tonight, but sometimes you just got to. Yes, hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to this pretty flash in the pan video on the channel. And the reason I'm doing it is you've probably seen already, but the big announcement today was that the National League, alongside basically the Premier League and the EFL, have decided to introduce a new cup competition called the National League Cup. And let's just say it is causing a lot of controversy on social media just now. Before we get into the juicy details of it and my opinion of it, let's just have a look at the format of this competition, how it'll work. So you've got 16 teams from the National League. Obviously, the National League's being a 24-team league, so you've got 8 teams in the National League that aren't participating in this competition. Then you've got 16 under 21 sides from the Premier League and the Football League, which makes up a 32-team competition. It is 4 groups of 8 with the top 2 from each group going through, but it is 4 National League teams and 4 under 21 teams, and in the group phases you only get fixtures between the between National League sides and under 21 sides. Then I'm presuming from the knockout stages, you could have under 21s against under 21s, or National League versus National League, and so on. So that is the new format of the competition. Now, why is this causing so much controversy? You'd maybe look at it and think, okay, under 21 sides have got a good chance to test themselves against senior opposition. It's another chance of silverware for the National League sides. Well, to get into the juicy details of this, you have to go back to April, where it was very controversially announced that the FA Cup was scrapping replays from the first round proper onwards. This being something that was only consulted between the FA and the Premier League, but the National League actually came out in support of this, this being the league governing bodies themselves, not necessarily the clubs within the National League. Obviously the main reason for the scrapping of FA Cup replays was given out as the fact it is seen that there is too many games in the football calendar. But let's just look at what's blatantly obvious about FA Cup replays. You'll only get FA Cup replays if the original game between the two sides is a draw. Whereas this competition, straight from the off, is an extra four games and possibly 7 depending on the eventual run that you go on. So explain that one to me, will you? We're scrapping games that aren't even guaranteed to happen because of there being too much congestion in the football calendar, and replacing it with an extra 4 games that definitely will happen, and possibly even more beyond that. Honestly, I'm absolutely bamboozled by it, I've got to say. My team, Gateshead, have entered this competition, and I've got to say I am not best pleased with it. We lost a game 7-1 last weekend, and yet this is the most disappointing I've been in us over the last week, because I just don't see what benefit this can have whatsoever. I think obviously you just think little things as well, like maintaining the pitch at the international stadium, at the cost of getting the games on. Let's be honest, the attendances at these games is going to be absolutely shocking, and that's not just for Gateshead. I think that's going to be across the board. The overall attendances at pretty much all the games is going to be significantly less than what the National League sides in it would get normally. So I've got to say, like I cannot support this competition whatsoever, and I will not support it. I'm not going to be going to any of the games whatsoever. For the purposes of this video, the Gateshead games in the group phase of this competition will be against Newcastle United under 21s, as well as Sunderland, Middlesbrough, and Leeds United. So they've done it almost like based on geography, really, but that doesn't make what's going on right. Like, in my honest opinion, I think the National League have just like bowed down to the Premier League, and what the big money boys want, with the big money boys one, which was exactly the same with why FA Cup replays are scrapped and stuff like that. Obviously, another reason for FA Cup replays being scrapped was because of like the new format for European competitions. And I'm not being funny, but this season in Europe there's only 7 English sides across the 3 competitions, and like, to be quite frank with it, if like say for argument's sake, Man City played Gateshead in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, if Man City with their like finances, squad size, squad depth, squad quality, whatever, can't beat Gateshead over 90 minutes, then quite frankly they've only got themselves to blame, haven't they? So honestly, I've like really like I mentioned in like a couple of season preview videos that I wasn't going to be doing any FA Cup ties this season. That does still remain the same, and there's been a couple of conceptions on Twitter about me over the last few days that my boycott of the FA Cup is purely on the fact that they've got rid of replays from the first round proper onwards. That isn't strictly true. The reason why I'm boycotting the FA Cup is for what that decision stood for, and what it could mean for like the future of football. Like, we're seeing a lot of I think we're seeing the phrase "games gone" quite a lot recently. So the reason I'm doing it is because the decisions on the changes that were made for the FA Cup were because only the Premier League sides were consulted on it. If like all like participating clubs and like league governing bodies had a say on it and had gone to a vote, and like the end result was still replays getting scrapped, so I would have been like, okay, like I don't agree with it, but I can respect the fact that a vote is a vote. But like it just feels like it's just like you do what a Premier League wants, and the rest of you just do what you're told. So that's why I cannot get on board with the FA Cup. But the thing is, with my FA Cup boycott, it will end immediately if I can get to a point where I'm satisfied that all like participating clubs and what have you will get a say in future decisions like regarding the competition. So I think if that, like, nothing's going to bring replays back, unfortunately, but if at least that lesson can be learned from it, and like all the backlash and what have you, if that is going to be the lesson that's learned, then I'll be like, okay, I'll come back. But as long as I live, I will never ever attend a game in this National League Cup, and honestly I hope it fails miserably. If the National League wanted their own cup competition, they could have just brought back the Setanta Shield, or like maybe done what they used to do in what was the Johnson's Paint Trophy back in the day, where you'd have it like straight knockouts, regionalised all the way up until the final. I think the area finals were over 2 legs, if I remember correctly. So you keep the travel down, but obviously you have the National League teams where instead of Premier League under 21 sides, you have sides from the National League North and the National League South instead. I'm not gonna lie, like the attendances in that wouldn't be great, but people would be willing to watch a game like, I don't know, like say for argument's sake, Hartlepool versus Farsley Celtic or something like that. But like, yeah, Gateshead against Leeds under 21s. I mean, who the hell cares, man? Like, that's just like no one's gonna be interested in it. So yeah, a really like confusing day for football, to say the least. I'm disappointed that we've decided to enter this, and I really hope it just doesn't lead to something that could be like financially very troubling for the football club. I mean, we'll see in due course, and if I'm proved wrong, I'll hold my hands up. But right now, I just can't see how anything good will come out of this competition. Yeah, I feel like this channel's been a little bit doom and gloom over the last week or so. There is more cheerful videos to come, I promise you that. But I just wanted to make this video just to get my opinions on this competition, like what's happened with the FA Cup, that kind of thing, off my chest, because I think the Premier League's just become an absolute stain on the game in this country. I must say that. But the National League and the people running it are quite simply not fit for purpose. But I will say, fair play to the clubs that refused entry, and the clubs that are in it. I'm kind of hoping, I'm not going to lie, that it is a bit of a like they're only entering it to prove a point, and just how ridiculous this cup competition is. Like, I'd love it if Gateshead put out a weaker side than what we would in the Durham Challenge Cup. I'm not going to lie, but not a day I was hoping would come. I mean, it felt inevitable after a while, I'm just going to say my piece on it. So if you're expecting any of those games to come on the channel, then you can think again. Nevertheless, looking forward to being there in the league, in the FA Trophy, and in the Durham Challenge Cup as well. That is that for this video, and I'll be back on Saturday with the Gateshead versus Forest Green Rovers game. As I said last night, obviously the weekend was a very degrading experience for the club, but the opportunity to bounce back from that is now coming around. Check back on Saturday to find out if we can do that. But until then, take care. Cheers for watching. See you later.